The first passenger collapsed during dinner. At first, nobody panicked. People thought he was exhausted, seasick, maybe drunk from the ship's bar. But when blood appeared near his mouth, the room went silent. 3 days later, the Times MV Hondius Times was under quarantine in the freezing waters near Antarctica. And somewhere inside the ship, a deadly virus was spreading silently through the corridors. The Times Hondius Times was built for exploration, luxury cabins, observation decks, wealthy tourists chasing the experience of standing at the edge of the world. Outside, Antarctica looked beautiful. Massive glaciers drifting through black water. Snowstorms swallowing the horizon. The kind of place that feels untouched by civilization. Until the coughing started, the first symptoms seemed harmless. Fever, fatigue, muscle pain. The ship's doctor believed it was a normal infection caused by exhaustion and freezing temperatures. Then one passenger stopped breathing properly. Within hours, his oxygen levels collapsed. Passengers noticed crew members suddenly wearing masks in the hallways. Entire sections of the ship were quietly sealed off. Rumors spread immediately. Food poisoning, pneumonia, chemical exposure. Nobody imagined the real answer. Late that night, the captain made an announcement. All passengers were ordered to remain inside their cabins until further notice. No explanation, just silence. And silence is dangerous in isolated places, because fear grows fast when people don't know the truth. Passengers began hearing violent coughing through the walls at night. Medical carts rolling through corridors after midnight. Doors opening and closing near the quarantine section. Some people sealed towels under their cabin doors, terrified the ventilation system itself had become contaminated. Then the diagnosis reached international health authorities. Possible Hantavirus outbreak on board. The words alone terrified experts. Hantavirus attacks the lungs with brutal speed. At first, it feels like the flu. Then, fluid begins filling the lungs. Patients describe it as drowning while still breathing air. And investigators feared something even worse. The Andes strain, one of the few hantaviruses ever linked to possible human-to-human transmission, that changed everything. Because a ship trapped in the middle of the ocean is the perfect environment for disaster. Shared air, confined hallways, no escape. Medical staff transformed parts of the ship into makeshift quarantine zones using plastic barriers and locked doors. Meals were left outside cabins. Passengers were told not to touch each other, not even family. The atmosphere on board changed completely. Nobody trusted anyone anymore. Every cough became suspicious. Every headache felt fatal. People stayed awake all night listening to sounds through the walls, wondering who would collapse next. Outside, Antarctica remained completely silent. Just black ocean and freezing wind surrounding the ship in every direction. No nearby hospitals. No fast rescue. Bad weather delayed evacuation for nearly 2 days. And during those 2 days, panic spread faster than the virus itself.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now, I just ask for your kindness and understanding. Thank you.
Then the helicopters finally arrived. Dark aircraft appeared through heavy fog while medical crews in hazmat suits rushed infected passengers off the ship. Some evacuees could barely stand. Others cried from fear more than pain. Nobody knew how many people were truly infected yet. Not even the doctors. When the Hondius times finally reached controlled docking zones, passengers were immediately transferred into isolation. Several deaths were later confirmed. Others survived with permanent lung damage. But survivors claim the psychological damage lasted much longer. Because once people believe the air around them can kill them, the fear never fully disappears. Eventually, the story faded from headlines. Another outbreak. Another disaster. Another warning ignored by the world. But the MV Hondius times revealed something terrifying about human civilization. We can cross oceans, reach the most remote places on Earth, build ships powerful enough to survive Antarctic storms. Yet, something microscopic nearly turned a luxury expedition into a floating prison. And maybe that's the most disturbing part. Not the virus, not the deaths, but how quickly normal life collapses once people become afraid to breathe.